Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Brendan and welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, it's great to have you. But today, cryptocurrency is on the brink of a huge breakout. We have this perfect storm that has been brewing for so long and now it is finally upon us. We have everything from the technical analysis on the chart to fundamentals like PayPal and Venmo rolling out cryptocurrency platforms, MasterCard accelerating their cryptocurrency programs, and even the US dollar and other first world currencies devaluing anywhere from 2 to 4%, and in even worse cases, 6 to 7% in first world currencies every single year. On top of this, gold and silver are hitting record levels that they haven't hit in decades now, and gold approaching all-time highs. It is just an absolute perfect storm for cryptocurrency and other investment assets. And today I want to break down and talk about the impact that this will have on cryptocurrency, in my opinion. So I know that's a lot, but I'm going to do my best to break down all of that in today's video. So if that sounds interesting, go ahead and stick around and feel free to ask me any questions that you might have in the comment section down below. So first things first, before we even get into the fundamentals, let's talk about specifically what's happening on the Bitcoin chart. What does this mean and why is it started its breaking out process? So this is the 4-hour time scale on Bitcoin based off of the Coinbase exchange, and what we can see very clearly is that Bitcoin has broken this big trend line that it's been getting beaten down by since the end of May. Now, with us actually getting rejected here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can even argue 6 times, and us breaking out of this is our first overhead resistance that we have broken out of. In fact, the only other one that I can really see out of this area is this sloppy resistance line that has been around since before April. So of course we have our first touch point in here, then our second, then our third, and we have touched it a couple more times in here. But now that we have broken out of that, we are starting to broken down out of that, we are retesting former support, now turn resistance. This is the only really big form of resistance that I see left as a trend line solution. Now, if we're talking about other forms of resistance, all it has to do is reach right above this level of its previous high. If it can break the process of getting continuous lower highs at this point, it's an extremely good spot. I mean, it is in a position that it could tear right through everything in this level. Because if we zoom out and we look at this on like a 3-day time scale, we can see very clearly that this isn't anything too difficult. We actually won't see any kind of crazy resistance up until back in, around that 10,000 range where we had this double top over here. And if that breaks, I think we are surely going back up into the mid $12,000. Now, all this is great, and the technical analysis is cool, but we can see the squeeze happening on the volume down here. I mean, it is squeezing and it is dropping off, and when this happens on Bitcoin, there almost always tends to be a large play move that follows it. Now, I'm not promising that it's going to be in the upside. We can't predict this kind of thing with absolute certainty, but I am, definitely believing that the probability is leaning towards the upside. Now, let me go ahead and get out there right now and say that, I am not a financial advisor. None of this is legal, tax, or financial advice in any way. This is all just my opinion and what I see is going to happen as an analyst. So, on top of all this and everything that we have happening in cryptocurrency right now, let's go ahead and take a look at things like gold and silver, and then we can get into some of the big news that's driving a lot of what else is happening over here. So if we're looking at gold on a 3-day, and what we're actually going to do is look at this on a weekly chart because I think it's going to help us out even more. Gold is getting ready to hit all-time highs. And if this chart doesn't look familiar to you, then I'm not sure, what to tell you. This is a beautiful scenario and situation of something that went parabolic, came back down, set consistently, and I'll go ahead and draw this out, set consistently higher swing lows, over the course of 1 to 2 years, and kept climbing. It was something that people said was going to continue to be suppressed, and here we are. It's about to hit all-time highs again, not even 5 years later. Almost, probably about 7-8 years later right now. But with this thing going on its parabolic run, gold is making a run for these all-time highs up at $1,900. Now, this is a topic for a separate video, and I'll actually probably be covering this in a video tomorrow. But again, this is just another reason why cryptocurrency is getting ready to follow in the footsteps, because what we see as cryptocurrency and gold is that they are hedges to fiat currency. You know, when you don't trust the fiat system, you have, or not even that you don't trust it, but if it's devaluating and something's going to go wrong, or people speculate that something's going to go wrong, they put their money into an alternative form of investment. Now, that can be cryptocurrency, that can be gold, that can be silver, that can sometimes even be oil. Now, oil's a little bit crazy right now because they have their own crisis that was going on, but this is just another reason for cryptocurrency to follow in the footsteps. Silver over here is at the highest point that it's been in over 4 years. Now, I talked about this in yesterday's video, but I mean, silver has just broken its last major form of resistance, its last lower swing high, and as soon as it breaks this, which it pretty much already has, the sky is the limit for this guy. I talked about its previous range being 26. This thing has plenty of room to run, and if gold and silver are going to run, you know, there's a very, very high probability that cryptocurrency is going to follow. I mean, if these brothers or sisters to it, Bitcoin is often called virtual gold, and then you have Ethereum, which is virtual silver. Again, when I've done a video on this in the past, you can look it up on my channel. When gold and silver tend to run, you tend to see a correlation within cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin, but other ones even follow Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and look at some of these important articles that I have pulled up over in here. So right now, of course, MasterCard is now expanding their cryptocurrency program. This was published as of yesterday, and it's going to allow more firms to issue cards on its network. This is extremely good. We have an article right over here that talks about PayPal and Venmo that I've already covered, getting ready to roll out their direct platforms to almost 400 million users. This is a company that does tens of billions of dollars in transactions and revenue every year. So again, just big things are happening behind the scenes, big things are happening on the chart, big things are happening in the fundamentals, and all of this is just, again, you know, leading me to believe that this is a perfect storm for cryptocurrency. So as MasterCard is expanding their network and, you know, things are just looking increasingly better, we cannot forget that the dollar is devaluing every single year. Now, while the Fed targets for a 2% core inflation rate, you know, this on especially like years like this one is going to be even greater. And we aren't even going to begin to see the repercussions of this for a couple years to come. And if cryptocurrency and gold and silver are already moving, I think that it's that this can only get better with the years to come, as we haven't even felt the true impact of how much money we have printed. Now, there are other first world currencies that are even devaluing, not even 2 to 3%, it's like 4, 5, 6, 7%. There are first world fiat currencies that are just mad devaluing at the time of us making this video. And if nothing else, if cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and everything were to not move and not do anything from where they are right now, theoretically Bitcoin would gain that 2 to 5% of the inflation rate that the fiat is losing every single year. It's not that Bitcoin's doing anything, it's just that the dollar is continually losing value. Now, for that reason, we have seen the US dollar lose 96% of its value since 1950. That means the equivalent of what you had, you now have the equivalent of 4% of what you would have had in 1950. And we are just 70 years later. I mean, it is a ridiculous inflation rate. Like, you know, again, I would like to say like we've never seen before, but now we're seeing this in multiple countries. So it's just a crazy time to be in. And overall, again, I think just there's no other way to describe this but a perfect storm that's just brewing for cryptocurrency. You have adoption coming in, and while it's, you know, in the process of getting launched, I can only imagine when that gets launched, you're going to have millions, if not now a billion of users every time they log in to use their money transfer and money related programs. They're now going to see options for cryptocurrency. I mean, you have the adoption in that specter. You have fiat's devaluing, and now we have it all over the news, and we have just this big perfect storm that is it just is beautiful. It truly is. So I don't mean to rant too much, but when I am looking at all of this, this just looks like a perfect situation for anyone that is investing into hedges against fiat for the time being. You know, I know the I mean, this has just been a crazy ride for a lot of us, and this has been a crazy year. But this is one of those things that I am truly excited to see. If you guys don't remember, I made a video on why silver was going to erupt. Now that's already erupted. It's almost doubled since I made that video. And, here we are looking at Bitcoin. Now, maybe I'll make another video talking about the potential downsides of Bitcoin, but I am so certain that the overall macro trend of Bitcoin here is reversing that I'm not even worried if it even has a retrace down to the downside. I'm going to see that as a buy the dip opportunity. So we'll see for the time being. As of right now, I see this as an absolute win for cryptocurrency. Take that as my opinion, nothing more. It's not financial advice. But if you guys did enjoy the video, share it with someone that really might need to hear this. And if you guys have any questions, I'd love to answer those and know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. In the end, hit that like button, helps out the channel a lot. And if you guys want to see more of my content, hit the subscribe button because I am making content almost 5 days a week. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next video.